Good day. Um, Today I am the driver of this session, and I'm with my navigator Zeeb.
Hey guys,
Cool. I'm gonna be discussing Lesson 25, um, which is a capstone project for our confetti cuisine application. So yeah, let's go through some of the code. So yeah, in my main.js I have all the routes, right? Um, that basically, yeah, all the get and post routes for users, for subscribers, for causes, and so on. Um, and all those imports, like importing Mongoose for our models, um, Flash for our Flash messages, you know, the user for to use our users, um, the the controllers as well, so we can um, use the functions in those controllers as well when we make those requests. So if I look here at users, for instance, let me use that as an example. So basically, these are the API links, right? When get and post request is made, it's made to these endpoints, right? And as soon as that's done, the function is called within the user controller, whatever function it is. So let's say, for instance, we let's see, let's see, yeah, for logging in, right? Okay, let's say we create a new user. Creating a new user, what happens when you create a new user, right? First, we make a get request to this API endpoint in order to get the new page this function is called, right? Then a post request is made. So let's say with this route, we make that post request while we're creating that user page or that user account. We make that post request to this API endpoint. As soon as that's done, this validate function is called, right? And then this validate function works, validates the email. Then this create function is called um, when that next function is implemented. Um, Also redirect view. So that's what happens when this post, and for specifically for this post request route. So if I go to my controllers, because this for these functions are in my controllers, right? So in users controller, over here I have, for instance, my validate function, which is basically what is called when I make that post request. So basically here, this just validates the email, validates the email, the zip code, and the password. So this function runs and it checks if the user's details are correct when they input it in the front end as they're creating their account, basically. So let's see. Yeah, okay, so I will show how that works in the front end first. Um, so basically, just gonna run my server. Yeah, so this is the confetti cuisine application, right? Um, can log in. As soon as I log in, I'm in my logged in page, right? So let's say, for instance, I want to create a new user. I click create user, and the get request is made to the server. This is given to me as a response, right? This page, which is the new page. Um, this new page is just basically the EJS essentially. So if I go here to users and I click new.ejs, this is what's displayed in the front end in order for me to fill in the form. So I can create a new user, right? And I can fill in all the details, right? What happens is when I fill in these details, right? Um, that validate function is specifically done as soon as I click sign in. That's when I click sign in, the post request is made, right? That post request is basically me creating the new account. Then the account is all these details, right, are basically validated. So we check if they're correct because I made that post request. And as soon as that happens, that's when those functions are implemented in users controller. Then it just redirects me to the users table page, basically. So that's where it redirects me afterwards. And yeah, that's what this validate function does, right? And when this next function is called, then it goes to the next function basically, or the next method, which in this case, because we're on this post request route, it will be this function create. So that's when it creates the account, right? So it creates the account, the user's account, essentially. So as you can see, this function is implemented afterwards, and yeah, it's just specifically for creating the account, and it shows that the account was created successfully. Shows that message, right? Andy Roberts account created successfully. That's the flash message that pops up because we have this REQ flash function with the string passed to it and the variable put in that string over there. Then next, when next is called, what happens is a redirect view function is implemented, and that basically redirects us to the other page, which in this case is this page over here, that shows the users table, and all the users there. So as you can see, the users added over here, and you can check in the database as well if the user is there. So if I go to users, as you can see, I created my new user and he's over here. So yeah, and you can see the name, first name, last name, email, password. Those were validated because of the validate function as soon as we made the post request. We also have authentication as well in this application. So basically for logins and logouts, right? So let's see. Yeah, over here I have authentications, routes over here for logging in and logging out. This is for logging in when the login function is called as well in users controller. This is for logouts. This is also for logging in. This is the post request that's made to this API endpoint, and then the authenticate function is called. So let's look at that. For instance, like this authenticate function is called when we make the post request to the user's login URL. So over here, essentially, authenticate function, which basically is just authenticating the account. This is where it takes you when it's failed to log in. This is where it takes you when the successful login happens to the home page over here. So yeah, specifically over here, it's just for logging in. So you click login, put in the details, email, and password, and then simply just log in, and it takes you back to this page with this flash message showing in the front end. Then there's also logging out as well. You can log out simply over there. And those same functionalities apply to to other things such as subscribers as well, right? All the subscribers here. Yeah, all the subscribers. Also causes, for causes specifically. Logins as well. You know, those functionalities and those routes apply in the similar way. So for subscribers, you can see here there's one for edit. So put request for editing or updating a subscriber's account. And when that put request is made to this API endpoint, what happens is the update function is called. So that's specifically for editing a specific user's account. So as you can see here, there is a parameter for the user's URL over here, colon ID. That refers to the user's specific account. So when that put request is made to here, update function is called, redirect view is called, and those are in the subscribers controller over here, right? As you can see. So that's basically how the application works. And you can see the models. This is specifically for courses. So we have the schema, which basically makes the blueprint of our data that we want to fill in, right? We have user.js, which has the model for specifically the user's details, and then also for subscriber, which has the structured data for the user to fill them in, basically. So yeah, that's basically a summary of lesson 25.